What's up, everyone? Welcome to Volts Comics and More. My name's Alex, and today I'm going to talk about a little bit about what has changed in the comics. I know that there's some controversy kind of going on with what Marvel's been doing. A lot of people who are bigger fans of like all the older comics are a little upset that they've changed so much. So this video I'm making is just kind of my way of thinking, like my explanation for all that. If anyone else has any other ideas on what Marvel could be doing or what the future will hold, if you think that they're ever going to kind of go back to the way that they are or they were, they were, let me know. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me. And if you disagree, let me know of your ideas of what's been happening lately in the Marvel universe. So basically, to me, the point where all, and for some of you, it may have happened a lot sooner. But to me, the point where it all kind of went backwards, it all started here. The Secret Wars #1, the new one. Basically, what happened was all the worlds got destroyed, or all the universes, different Earths, everything got destroyed, and kind of all collided and collapsed. And so Doctor Doom decided to play God and took it upon himself to make a whole new world called Battle World. And Battle World was comprised of different storylines that have happened. There's Armor Wars, there's Planet Hulk, there's Civil War. I mean, there's stuff for Extinction, the Inhumans, Adeline Rising. I mean, there's just so many. I can't quite think of them all off the top of my head right now, but they have it was so chaotic and so confusing. I mean, Doctor Doom had to pretty much control it all, and he had gotten what he called a Legion of Doors, and he had different Milmirs crafted, and different people would come up to see if they're worthy or not, and they'd be assigned to their domain. Like in Armor Wars, they had the War Machine was assigned to that domain. And so it's just as an example, different stuff like that. The Secret Wars. This is the main. I mean, this is just a single issue. I do have all the other issues right here. But this is the main story. What happened? If you go, what number was it? Up until number 6. It says 6 of 8. Up there in the corner. But when you actually reach number 7, actually go 7 of 9. So they decided to add in an extra issue. Which the variant issue, one of the variant issues of the last one was actually really cool. Like the Fantastic Four, all there. But yeah, it was really an excellent story. Of course, they have the graphic novel out now if you don't want to go find all the back issues for it. But they do have the graphic novel out for it right now. They also have the graphic novels out for everything that happened in between the Secret Wars that happened during it, what was going on throughout all the different domains, stuff like that. Also, another thing, I believe that at the ending, when they basically T'Challa and Namor, there's a lot of stuff with the original Illuminati that's in it, which that kind of all explains in part of how they, I mean, if you read Avengers, the new Avengers Illuminati, you kind of get an idea of how they all came to be together. But there's also a Secret War prelude that kind of leads you into Secret Wars and kind of gives you a little bit of a update about what happened, or what happened at the end of Secret Wars is going to happen. I'm trying to keep this a little bit spoiler free, so um but if there are spoilers, I'm sorry. But anyway, um so at the end of the Secret Wars, uh T'Challa grabs the Infinity Gauntlet, and they just kind of go up to fight Doom, and there's a huge revolution against him stuff. So check it out, definitely worth reading. But I believe everything that happened in that time frame has an effect on what's happening right now in the universe. Why people are so upset over different different things that are changing. Like now, there's a new Iron Man, and Doctor Doom's a good guy, and different stuff like that. There was a second Civil War that happened, and a lot of people died. A lot of well, not a whole lot, but a handful of people died. A handful of main characters died, and it a lot of people. I've read a bunch of different comments on how, like, well, this is like a original, original Stan Lee character. How could you kill him off? Stuff like that. Thing you also have to remember is that in comics, nobody really stays dead. So, I mean, there's always possibility of anybody coming back at any point in time for any specific reason. But also there's different things that have happened uh, past Secret Wars when you get into the all new, all different Avengers. They have some kids join them, such as Miles Morales, Spider Man. There's Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. There's the Vision, the female Thor, Sam Wilson's Captain America. I mean, everything has clearly changed since, the original team of Ant-Man, Wasp, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Captain America. And I mean, I personally like the newer comics also, as well as the older ones. And I don't think that that anything is completely wrong with the direction that they're taking, because what you have to understand is when something that massive happens and you create a whole new world and the world gets reborn, or the whole universe gets reborn, I mean, there's bound to be some kind of change. There's bound to be something that's not going to be quite right. And I believe that the Marvel universe is still trying to fix itself and to collect itself to where it once was. And when they rebooted, well, when Marvel rebooted itself again, in a sense, I mean, they had Marvel #1 Now, which kind of just, if you wanted to jump into a story like Doctor Strange, Thor, if you wanted to jump into like one of those, but you didn't know where to start, Marvel #1 Now was kind of a place to start, right in the middle, if you wanted to. But then recently they just came out with Marvel Legacy, which Marvel Legacy kind of seems to be going in the direction that people are wanting it to go into. It's going into the direction of the classic comics. But even then, things are still needing to be fixed. Tony Stark is in a coma. They're trying to fix that. Spoiler alert for the Civil War 2. But the Hulk, he died. And they tried to bring him back a couple of times. Didn't really work out. They tried to bring him back once in the Uncanny Avengers. The Hand tried doing that and making him into kind of a zombie Hulk weapon type thing. But obviously, that didn't really work out. So, and then in the Secret Empire, where Captain America was bad, and Captain America tried bringing him back as a weapon also for his new Avengers. And that's the other thing too. A lot of people, as soon as Hail Hydra, Captain America photos started coming out, everyone's like, hashtag not my captain, stuff like that. I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't think that it was a little weird also, and that I knew something was wrong. But to actually believe that Marvel would make Captain America Hydra without any good explanation just didn't make any sense. So I continued to read all the Captain Americas. I also followed up with the Thunderbolts, which all this happened right after the Avengers Standoff series, where S.H.I.E.L.D. creates a place built by the Cosmic Cube called Pleasant Hill. And the Cosmic Cube, they actually manifested it into a sentient being a human named Kobik, a little girl named Kobik. And she created this entire city where basically all the villains would be rehabilitated. Well, with S.H.I.E.L.D. being in control of it, S.H.I.E.L.D. got to choose who's bad, who's good, stuff like that. Once they did that, and whoever stood in their way was obviously bad. So that included the Avengers, and also included Captain America. Sam Wilson, Captain America with the Avengers, but Steve Rogers was in there when the whole revolution started for Pleasant Hill. And once everyone started realizing who they were in real life, they got really, really mad at, that's an understatement saying that, but at S.H.I.E.L.D. and started fighting back, obviously, and trying to break out. Well, Captain America, the original Captain America, Steve Rogers, he's an old man right now. He was coming up on Crossbones, and he went face to face with Crossbones, and that pretty much would have costed him his life if Kobik had not have come in and made him young again. Here's the thing, though. Kobik was raised as the Cosmic Cube by the Red Skull. She believed in the Hydra ordeal because she thought that was what was right. She's a little kid. Her father told her, this is what's right. This is what the world should be like, and everything's going to be okay if it is like this. That's all she wanted. And she wanted to help out. She wanted to make the world a better place because that's what she believed. That's what she was told. So she made Captain America Hydra when she made him younger again. But that's not it. The Captain America that was Hydra isn't even the real Captain America. It's Steve Rogers, but it's a different version of Steve Rogers. So, the real Steve Rogers was trapped in a little pocket dimension type thing, I guess you could say. Where he met up with some of his, long story short, he met up with some of his past, and he had to figure out how to get out of there. Well, he finally found Kobik in there, and she was scared, and was upset that anything had ever happened, that she'd ever done any of this. Like, she knew what she'd done was wrong. She thought it was too late. So she's talking to Steve Rogers about the real Steve Rogers about it, and she helped him escape this little pocket dimension. He came back and fought his evil twin, I guess you could call him, and won. And so, but the thing is that Steve Rogers, the real Steve Rogers, is young now again, and he's back, but he has to kind of fix what the evil one did. Because a lot of people don't believe that it was an evil Steve Rogers. They think it is all the same guy, you know, and they run into the real Steve Rogers and they're like, oh, you're Hydra. Well, no, he wasn't. You know, it was a different version of him. So, basically, a lot of people were upset at the Hail Hydra thing. As I said, I understand why, and I was kind of upset too until I started thinking about it, and I'm like, well, you know what, there's got to be an explanation for it, so let's continue with the story and see where it unfolds. And it turned out to be really good. I definitely recommend reading Secret Empire. As always, a lot of stuff has happened with the series. Also, way back in Rage of Ultron book, Hank Pym had sacrificed himself to basically to destroy Ultron, and the result was him being merged with Ultron, and he and Ultron kind of connected in a way, I guess you could say. I mean, he claims to still be. I'm still a little bit confused about it myself. If any of you have read the stories and read the Uncanny Avengers, where Ultron and Pym do come back merged into one being, and also Secret Empire, where they meet up with him again. And if you're understanding it a little bit better than me, let me know. But on one hand, I feel like Pym is saying that they merged together and he can understand Ultron a little bit more and he can control Ultron. On the other hand, I think Ultron is wearing Pym's skin to kind of get the attention of the Avengers and to get their trust and to get them to basically surrender to Ultron, thinking that it's Hank Pym. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about that. There hasn't been a whole lot of, unless I missed something, there hasn't been a whole lot of appearances by this character, by this new character. Like I said, he did first appear merged in Uncanny Avengers, and there was a big fight with him once Wasp kind of figured out that Ultron is actually wearing Hank Pym's skin and Hank Pym isn't controlling Ultron at all. But then you see him again in Secret Empire, and Secret Empire, it's like if Ultron is wearing his skin, it's kind of like he has all of his thoughts and all of his memories with him. All of Hank Pym's memories with him, because he got the Hydra Empire Avengers together, and he got the newest team of Avengers for that time together, and sat him down at a table, and he basically he's living up in the Antarctic, and I believe, and he's really obviously really secluded up there, and he had a Avengers mansion of his own up there. It was an exact replica of the original Avengers mansion way back when the Avengers first started, and he basically sat him down at the dinner table. You know, the Hydra on one side, the original or the new team on the other side, and sat him down and was basically trying to create a peace treaty between them, which obviously didn't really work out. But that's all in the Secret Empire story. To see how that ended, check it out. Like I said, Secret Empire is definitely a good story. I would definitely recommend reading the Captain America, even when he is Hydra, because it all leads up to that. And if you want to crossover events, definitely get into Thunderbolts, where Bucky is leading them. They're kind of on the run from pretty much everyone, trying to protect Kobik. And again, this all happened after Pleasant Hill, or after the Avengers standoff story. And that is another story to definitely check into and definitely read about. Like I said, after Secret Wars, I feel like everything has had a effect. Like the Secret Wars, the rebirth of the new universe has had a effect on everything. I mean, Galactus. If you read the Ultimates, they have turned Galactus into a life bringer. He is no longer the devourer of worlds, and that in itself had a very, very big impact on the cosmic universe. And that where he turns into the Lifebringer is found in the first Ultimates books. The Ultimates 2 books is when you see the consequence of no longer being the destroyer of worlds, and different cosmic beings take new forms. And it's if you are very much into the more of the space cosmic side of comics, I would definitely check those out. Also, the artwork is very good in them. Storyline is amazing, and I love how they did recreate Galactus and his new role in the universe. And if you read the new Legacy, Marvel 2-in-1, with the Thing and Human Torch, right now, Reed and Sue are both gone. Not 100% sure if they're dead. I think that they are. I think they died in the Secret Wars. Kind of what this is all about. I mean, it's not exactly explain like to explain how they died was more in the first one, I suppose you could say. But basically, Reed tries to create a pod to save everyone, and obviously, you can't save an entire world in one little pod, and he didn't have enough time to build anything bigger. But Reed and Sue and a few others were in it. Not everybody made it. Right now the Marvel 2-in-1 is still unfolding about what's happened to Reed and Sue, and also their kids. There is a version of Reed that is out there right now, called The Maker. If you go into the infamous Iron Man series, where Doctor Doom is proclaiming himself as good, because not everybody remembers the events of Secret Wars, and there's only a select few people who know of it. Doctor Doom, of course, being one of them, and he recalls that time when he was playing God, and he's like, "Yeah, all right, I was wrong. Sue me. I'm gonna become good now, so it's all okay." Not everybody's falling for that. And not everybody, even if they do fall for it, not everybody's accepting that. Oh, it's not okay. You're Doctor Victor Von Doom. So he's still on his own path right now. He's met up with the new Iron Man Ironheart, Riri Williams. I believe that she's doing a really good job at being Iron Man while Tony Stark is in his coma from the Civil War II. Um, I At the same time, I do believe that I understand where people are coming from with Riri Williams being the new Iron Man. Which I'm not gonna really get into like the huge controversy that was going on with that, because I personally think that she's doing a good job. And in all honesty, I mean, she's not permanent. I mean, well, she is, but she isn't. Like Tony Stark right now in Legacy, he is going to come back, and he is going to be the Invincible Iron Man, as far as I know. But I believe he's going to come back as the Invincible Iron Man. Um, but she's going to have her own path. Like right now, ever since the Avengers kind of split up after the events of the, I believe it was Civil War II. After the events of that, of course, the original Civil War storyline had, choose your own side, and they did that exact same thing for promos for the Civil War movie. Champions were born, and they did not want to make the same mistakes that the adults made, that their last generation made, because the generation, where the adults were back when Stan Lee and all of them were still doing comics, that generation, you got into the first Civil War, you got into many other events that had happened that the kids do not want to follow in their footsteps, basically. And so they created champions. And the champions are comprised of Nova, Ms. Marvel, Vision's daughter, also Spider-Man, Miles Morales, the Totally Awesome Hulk, Amadeus Cho, and Nadia Pym, who is Hank Pym's daughter. She did not come into play until after what happened to Pym with Ultron, but she was actually raised in the Red Room just like Black Widow was, and she comes back and search for her father and can't find her father, and she meets up with Jarvis, their old, the Avengers' old butler, and also meets up with the Wasp, the original Wasp, Janet Van Dyne, and Pym had actually been married before Janet, and that's where Nadia came into play, was with his ex-wife. So basically, the Wasp, or the original Wasp, Janet Van Dyne, pun intended, took Nadia under her wing and kind of trained her to be the new Wasp. And so she's also joined with the champions, and she's also been with the Avengers also. I mean, right now the champions are kind of expanding. I still have to catch up on some of the newer champions. A lot of Legacy I have to catch up on, especially when it comes to the Avengers and champions. Stuff's happening right now with the Avengers, and with the champions, with the Worlds Collide. I'm missing a issue of that kind of right in the middle. But also where after all that comes into play, there is a storyline called No Surrender that's happening right now. It's a weekly event. So if it's not over yet, it might be coming to an end, but I still plan on getting those those issues shouldn't be too hard to find because it's still really new, and a lot of comic book stores still ordering them for you. And if it was too late, then I would just end up getting a graphic novel. But anyway, so basically, I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that everything that's happened in the comics, the newer comics, everything that is controversial, that is different from the older comics, I believe it's still trying to rewrite itself from what has happened in the Secret Wars. And all the different events that have happened has kind of, it's just changed everything so much. And I love watching this new universe evolve into something greater. I believe that eventually it's all going to come together. Everything's going to get back to the way it was. Might have to hang in there and read some to find out how it kind of all gathers up. I know with the X-Men, there's a bunch of what they call time displacement that's happened with the younger X-Men, the original X-Men coming into our present day timeline, and not everybody from that younger generation is still alive, but the people who are still alive, there's been some time displacement issues with them. And I kind of think that that's what has happened with a lot of the universe right now, is just a lot of time displacement, a lot of things that have been rebuilding itself, and everything in the universe is trying to correct itself. And, if any of you have gotten discouraged in the way that Marvel is heading right now compared to the way that it used to be, don't be too discouraged, because I seriously think that it's just all trying to correct itself. It's all trying to rewrite itself, and it's going to get better. It's going to be exciting, and it's definitely going to be worth reading. Definitely worth seeing how the direction is going to go with the artists and the writers and everyone else involved in it. So, but yeah, that's all for right now. Definitely catch you guys later, and next time I post a video about Grand Theft Auto 5, I will be in my own chat on my own live stream. So, you will be able to hear me. I mean, maybe I might have a couple people in there, but it'll definitely be my own. I won't be on anyone else's at the same time. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye.